Hi everyone, this is Jim Tolles, and today the topic I'd like to go into is resting into your natural rhythms. So I talk a lot about spiritual awakening and the initial shift that comes, because awakening for most people, not everyone, is like all this energy has been in this pent-up box, and it's suddenly exploded, and it's just bouncing all over the place, and so people are going to high state experiences, and they're dropping into low energy spaces, and feeling very depressed and drained and out of energy, and then they bob back up and it's expanding and everything is beautiful, and it's like, right, it's kind of hyperventilating a little bit, but this is temporary. Eventually this settles down, and much of the work that we do is really creating space for us, creating space to just rest in this space, to just rest at our natural vibration, whatever that feels like or looks like. I often like to describe awakening as like a seed sprouting. And we're all different seeds. And so this is why it's tough to compare too many people's different awakenings, because some people are pumpkin plants and other people are redwood trees and other people are cherry trees, right? They're different types, and so they have different growth cycles and different intensities at different times. Obviously, if you're going to grow into a redwood tree, you're going to grow for a while, and you're going to need a lot of rooting. You're going to need a lot of space, and so for you, it's not going to be optional to not go down into those roots, to go into those deep core issues that are inhibiting your growth. For other people, they're not going to have to get into as much darkness within themselves, and they can kind of operate at a lower vibration. Now, this isn't bad. Okay, so a lot of egos will hear lower. Well, that's, oh, I don't know if I want to be low. It's like you're going to go to whatever is natural for you. And we all have a sacred role. And that's why I was using the image of plants. Because like the pumpkin plant is the pumpkin plant. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's no better or lesser than a redwood tree. But in this culture where we think higher and bigger is better, people can get confused and start to try and strive somehow in this process to attain something, right? This is where people fall into the self-improvement trap, which is they're constantly trying to improve themselves. And that's not the spiritual path. There's a certain level of self-improvement and healing that happens, that arises, but that's the thing about this path, is it arises. It's like it becomes very apparent what you need to do, and very uncomfortable if you don't do it. And so then we go through all this, and it's not meant to stay this way forever. Not for most of us. I mean, any life path can go in any direction, and everything is possible. But generally speaking, what happens for most of us is we start to kind of come down to a regular rhythm, a regular growth cycle. And I think the seasons are a great metaphor to use here, because you have a time for rest and you have a time for growth. And that just starts to become part of your life. And because you're open, you're no longer resisting the growth cycles or the rest cycles. Or if you do start to resist, you're much more aware of it than you were before, and so less likely to do so. And so there becomes this kind of ease to your growth, where before you're just trying to burst forth to get out of the ground, and there was all this debris and rock and stuff in the way that you had to clear and you had to understand on different levels and to release and to open up space so you could just be you. Now you're just being you. And there's this wonderful rhythm, such a relaxed rhythm that happens. It doesn't mean life is easy. It doesn't mean life doesn't have difficulty. This is just so important to remember, because that's part of what the old ego wants. The old ego wants an incentive. So if I go through all this crap, I'm going to get some good, right? I'm going to get like a bonus at work, or a medal, or I'm going to get a soulmate or a twin flame, or whatever that core is, that core ego idea, desire, attachment, whatever it is. It's like, let me know I'm going to get something for all this hard work. And I can't really tell you that you will. But in letting go of that desire, those attachments, you usually do get everything that you want, that you truly want, not the superfluous stuff. And that's a big thing that happens for a lot of people, is you're letting go of the superfluous stuff. Initially, it seems like you really want X or Y or Z or whatever it is. And then you let it go, and you're like, wow, I feel a lot better. This feels good. Why did I want this? And so like that's part of creating that space for your own rhythm, to keep showing you how to grow, how to rest, how to be at ease, be at peace, be in stillness. There was this interesting conversation I had at a dance event a couple weeks ago, and this gal was saying that, this idea of like not having ups and downs in life would be really boring, which is very much an ego idea. But really, it's peace. It's like just settling into that serene lake, without all the waves constantly churning things up. And so especially for those of you who've just moved into that big awakening shift, it won't last. It's also a gift. And this is why I'm often encouraging people to do what they need to do, to embrace it, because there's also a certain energy, a certain impulse that is unique to that time. And it will only come at that time. Maybe you'll have other greater or lesser impulses later on in your life. It depends on your growth cycle. So I can't say this will be the only one, but it could be. You can't act like more will come, or you'll get another opportunity, because life is so precious, it's so fleeting, that all you can do is say, there is this impulse in me to heal or to change or to grow, I'm going to embrace it. And again, you really kind of need to make this your mantra, say, I'm going to embrace this. Because as you do, it just becomes your natural state. That you have so embraced yourself that you come into the resting cycles that just kind of move in that greater ease. And so you can embrace the challenges that will come and let go of things as they need to be let go of. And there's just such a wonderful quality of peace and ease that is now present in your life. And through that, people will come and people will go. And it's not as big of a deal, because you're in that inner peace. You're in that inner completion. And that inner completion says, there's nothing the external world has that I need. In that, you can appreciate everything for what it has to offer. And there's such a huge difference. Just think about any relationship where somebody wants something from you. It doesn't feel good, right? And consequently, if you want something from somebody else, there's that grabbing, right? You see that motion I'm doing with my hand. And you don't necessarily want to be around that person. You can even potentially love this person and enjoy being around them in other ways, but it's like, ooh, what's this grabbing? That grab goes away. And so in that going away, whatever somebody offers to you is what they have to offer. And that's perfect. And that's a wonderful space to be. It's because you're at peace with yourself. And that peace is always changing, that love is always changing, the demands of life are always changing. But the peace and the stillness within continue. They continue to abide. And depending on how your transition has gone, they'll abide in different ways. And so what somebody who's at peace and at rest looks from one person to the next is different. What I look from like one of my students is different. And it's beautiful in that way, because we're not meant to just be all cookie cutters. So if you're in the amidst the initial shift, if you're wondering what this awakening thing is, or if you've come through and you're coming into this resting cycle, these are some of the thoughts I have to share about that. And I hope you're enjoying whatever your path is doing for you in your life.